I reckon it's just about do or die week this week for Sussan Ley. On Friday, the opposition leaders' MPs are going to have a briefing or a showdown on the party's target, which is also the Labor target, to cut Australia's emissions to net zero by 2050. Now, the polls actually show that most Liberal voters are strongly against it. Most National MPs are against it, and many Liberal MPs are against it. And the costs of even trying to slash our emissions that much are horrific. I mean, you look already at your power bills, you look at the heavy industries of putting out of business, you look at the billions we're wasting on dud green schemes like green hydrogen. And just today, airlines warning that tickets are going to cost more than $1,300 more on average by 2050 if they have to use green fuel. And all this pain, when, as the former chief scientist admitted, Australia couldn't make any measurable difference to the climate anyway, we're too small. Yet still, this issue is going to split the Liberals because on the one hand, there are MPs who see, yes, there is horrific damage being done to our economy. But on the other hand, there are MPs, especially in Victoria, who are terrified that they'll lose their seats if they oppose net zero because so many Australians believe in the warming scare. Now, note that really carefully. Almost every Liberal I've heard saying that Sussan Ley should stick with this net zero target says they want that because it's popular. Net zero is popular and not because it's a great policy, it's going to make great difference to the climate, won't cost much. They don't say that. You take the obscure Liberal Senator Andrew McLaughlin in the last week posted this story on his website about himself saying the push to dump climate targets was out of touch with the voters, business leaders, international markets. Nowhere did he say that cutting our emissions that hard was actually good for our economy and would stop hurricanes, fires and floods, because as you know, they will not. So this isn't an argument between Liberal moderates and the Liberal rights. It's actually between Liberals too scared to speak the truth and Liberals who know they must. And to me, there's only one compromise. The Liberals should insist on cost versus benefit of a green scheme. Is it going to cut the temperature, but it will cost a lot? Then don't do it. If it's going to ruin the landscape with wind towers, but doesn't lower temperatures, don't do it. Cost versus benefits. Lower emissions, yes, by all means. That's playing it safe, but do it only in ways that don't cause more harm than good. Joining me is the political panel, Michael Kroger, former Victorian Liberal President, Steve Conroy, former Labor Senator and Cabinet Minister. Michael, good to see you both, in fact. What should Sussan
Good to see you.
Welcome back. Welcome back, mate.
Welcome
Good to see you.
Thanks to you both. Thanks to you both. Michael, what do you reckon Sussan Ley should do or will do?
Well, Andrew, I put it in this context. When Labor opposed boat turnbacks for years and years and years and then relented, people thought that's very odd. They didn't have credibility. Don't forget we opposed nuclear for the 9 years we were in government, from 13 to 22, and then had to come to Jesus and decided we were actually in favour of nuclear power. And people thought, but you've done nothing for 9 years in government. So fast forward to today, we've been supporting net zero for years. Originated it, supported it, backed it through various elections. Now we're saying to people, oh no, we don't believe that anymore. Now, of course, international situations have changed both with nuclear and with net zero, but it's hard to sustain an argument that we're now opposed to net zero, given that we've been in favour of it for so long. The electorate thinks, what are we to make of these people? They change their minds all the time on these major issues. So I think the answer is to keep everybody happy and have a credible policy. You remain in favour of it as a target, not as a legislated target, as you've said, as a target, but you limit the cost of it. You say, given it's going to make no difference to the climate, it's going to do immense damage to our country, there is a dollar cap on what we're prepared to spend on this. If you go over it, well, it's going to increase emissions because we're not spending any more. And don't forget, the coalition has to fight this argument alone. You know, it wasn't able to win the nuclear argument. We can't rely on the BCA or the business community. It's just basically Dan Tehan and a couple of spokespeople have got to win this argument against something that we helped make a religion in this country because we supported it for so long, Andrew.